Flight Boss, bitch. For sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry Smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Now, what is fear? What is fear? Now, I'm going to tell you this. From a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect, fear is like a drug. So, in the third dimension, I don't care how y'all perceive fears. I don't care what illusion your fear may look like, what shape and form, what person, place, or thing your fear may appear to be. What you need to know that fear itself, that energy signature, has nothing to do with what you have been taught what fear is third dimensional wise, right? And actually, fear is something that your spirit search for. Because here's the thing. Your spirit is addicted to new experiences. So I don't care if it's a bad or good experience. As long as the experience is new, this is what your spirit is actually addicted to. So anytime you put yourself in some type of routine or pattern for way too long, based upon a person, place, or thing, and if you're not understanding when something has served its purpose or when time is up, that person, place, or thing will play out as a catastrophic moment in your life. Now, you're thinking something happening to you. You think this a scenario or situation is happening to you. But in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, your spirit actually manifested that scenario for your vessel in the third dimension to go through, to experience, to remind you that we are stuck in a routine and a pattern. This is how your spirit talks to your body. We are stuck in a routine and pattern. So it's time to get up out of this. Now, when you're stuck in a routine and pattern in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, that plays out in the third dimension as a responsibility, a scenario, a situation, a burden, a circumstance, a job, anything that has a task or routine or schedule to it that you do on a day-to-day basis. This what that means in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension of you being in one spiral, one routine, one current, one space and location. So I would hate for your spirit to not even resonate with that area, because it's going to be harder for you to get with the program than others in your area. But see, here's the thing. What is fear? Now, since your spirit is addicted to new experiences, because anytime you are in a new experience, you're in your true godly state. Because there's no way to think and there's no way to feel. So you're creating on an instant. You're creating on an impact. So that is your true godly state. So anytime you're in a truly new experience, you're in your true godly state. And that's what the spirit be addicted to a lot of times. So there's many different shapes and forms and ways to get to that arena in this area. Now, here's where fear comes in, and here's why I say it plays out like a spiritual drug in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Because when you are stuck in a routine or a pattern, right, that's like a frequency vibrating in one area. So the longer you do that, the more it can appear to be solid, and that realm of reality is something that can be sustained. So this is what y'all call life. But in the third dimension, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise, it's just you trying to sustain a space and location in some way, shape, or form, or position. Now, in the third dimension, right, it's going to play out as you vibrating low, spiritually. Now, everything is in reverse in the third dimension. So if you're doing a lot of things, adding a lot of shit to your name, you got a lot of responsibilities, but you're getting a lot of gains with it also, then you may be seen as expanding physically, but spiritually, you're actually doing more containing within yourself. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about you being in a routine and pattern in the third dimension, that may be perceived as you doing a lot of things, or a lot of times just you being in a circumstance or situation over and over and over again, whether it's a positive or a negative one. Now, the lower you are vibrating, the higher the vibrational substance you're going to have to use. Because here's the thing. When you're stuck in a routine and pattern in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, right? Your spirit is addicted to new experiences. So here's where fear come in. So it plays out as fear in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension as a drug. But in the 3rd dimension, it plays out as you manifesting a scenario to take you out of this routine or take you out of this pattern or separate you from this person or separate you from this thing. Now, if you want to compare drugs, let's say fear in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension would be like crack in the 3rd dimension. Because when you look at crack, right, and you look at certain crackheads, think about what crack makes them do. It makes them nervous, makes them scared, makes them run around, makes them feel like they're being chased, makes them feel like, but also if a crackhead is in danger, you also will see some most unbelievable things you ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed a motherfucking crackhead fucking shit carry a motherfucking whole car, broken down, all the car parts on a bike. They had the 4 tires, the hood, they had the motherfucker, had mufflers and pipes and shit like that on a bike. So this is what you need to understand. When we talk about fear, reason why it plays out like a drug is because your spirit will create a fear type of circumstance or situation. Your spirit in the 3rd dimension will gravitate towards something that causes fear because you are vibrating so low in the 3rd dimension, right, that fear is the only thing you can attach yourself to experience a new experience while still being in the same experience. So for an example, crackheads, they're vibrating very low because of their life and their living conditions, right? So the only thing that takes them, so they're vibrating so low, they need a very high vibrational substance to take them out of that circumstance while they're still within that circumstance 3rd dimensional wise. So they end up smoking crack, right? So the crack puts them in that state that they spirit yearn for. Now, regardless of the illusion of how that fear may play out down here, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, they just took a hit of that spiritual rock. Now, it doesn't always necessarily play out through crackheads. I'm just comparing the drugs of how we perceive it in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. It would be like maybe the crack substance itself and the coca leaves was manifested out of the fear energy. Now, and this is why selling fear is so popular, you know, and whoever have a lot of that to push could be very powerful. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we talk about itself, it being a drug, now, it's because now you could be stuck in a routine pattern based upon a person, place, or thing, right? So your spirit, that's you creating a routine and pattern. Now, if you're a person who don't watch Archangel Uriel, you may be unaware of this because this is actually everyday life. Like, life itself and society and the beings within it teaches you about routine and pattern and how to be consistent and how to stay in some type of structure or foundation. So you are taught to have a steady job, steady family, steady household, steady vehicle, like things to keep you stabilized. You know what I'm saying? So things that's correlated with your South Node energies is what this society is preaching. But then your North Node is what take you into your spiritual growth and cause spiritual expansion. But it also causes indecisiveness, scary, in situations that you feel like you shouldn't be a part of. But you need to know it's dealing with new experiences. Pardon me. So for the most part, this is what your spirit yearns for. And this is how your spirit gets to actually expand and receive more information. And have more life within one life. Have more experiences within one life. So you can be able to skip gems and get rings and gems a lot faster. So you can move on through your travels and don't be attracted to areas that you necessarily don't resonate with. But you may have attached it to yourself by default based upon the things you were into. Now, fear itself, like I said, it's a drug because, see, when people, like, you are all fallen demons, fallen angels, however y'all want to call it, the Elohim, all y'all are the fallen spirits that came into these bodies. A lot of y'all got so lost into the body, you don't see it no other way. So you cling to, and you train your subconscious mind to look towards external people, places, or things that can help you along the way, because you gave your own power source away somewhere down the line. Now, by you getting so lost in this light, in the physical, you forgot yourself. So you end up reading about yourself and start thinking it's somebody else, because you already subconsciously trained your mind to think that the only way to know anything is externally. So even when you're learning about yourself, past civilizations, when you was here in other physical bodies, you don't think that's you. So you don't end up resonating with anything. So you don't end up having any power, to the point that you have to search for it. Now, since you have become so separate, because that's what it means to be separate. Since you have become so separate, now you are in a circumstance, in a situation where it's almost like you feel alone. So your spirit created that energy for yourself, because you've been stuck in a routine and pattern so long, aka you was lost in the light. You lost yourself in some type of physical or logic or rationality or indoctrination so long that your spirit has to create this circumstance which manifests into this fear substance. And your spirit just need a hit of that, because it's like you're searching for everything to be so safe, so routine, so logical, makes sense. You're looking for everything to make so much sense. So it's like your spirit is almost like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you need to chill out and relax. You know what I'm saying? But in the third dimension, you think that is relaxing. You think searching for routine and pattern. Oh, just some overall God created everything type shit. Or, oh, this thing type shit, or this, that, or, oh, this is what this says and we don't need to look any deeper into it. And, oh, this, and you are so lost in the light that you put yourself in a circumstance, in a situation where your spirit has no choice but to go to the trap house in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension and go cop some fear. So whatever program you're in a routine of, your spirit in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, like, damn, I need a hit so this motherfucker can get out of this circumstance or situation. So once in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, your spirit in that form, whatever cloud form it went in and used as a vessel, take a hit of that drug, and in the third dimension, it plays out as you fearing something that goes against whatever routine and pattern you felt safe in. And the moment your spirit took you out of that space, that's a new experience. But to you, it's going to appear as fear if you're heavily indoctrinated. You see what I'm saying? So to you, by default, it's automatically going to play out as fear. So if you are a person that fear a lot of things, and you heavily indoctrinated by theologians and things of that nature, these fears is not what they appear to be in the third dimension. It's actually in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, you being a spiritual junkie. You know what I'm saying? And you're weak spiritually, and you need a spiritual crutch, and you may need to go to a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional rehab. So before all you religious preachers and things of that nature talk about Archangel Uriel lighting up and going into the smoke and flame as I am, you need to check where your spirit is at. Because in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, your ass stay in a trap house. And I see that in the third dimension because your ass fear every goddamn thing. I can do this. You fear that. And since you so weak and got no power, you want to go ahead and give that power to somebody else. Somebody else, whoever you following, they taught you about them niggas. So they all came together. But yet, you gonna tell me and the nigga that you following, or the whatever spirits you following, be using the same shit. Or you wouldn't know nothing about it. Yet, you gonna tell me that, oh, I'm using some Illuminati shit. No, I'm using my shit. This is my shit. I got my own thoughts and feelings and emotions. What the fuck this fucking means. That ain't got shit to do with no Illuminati. So you can waste your time Well, giving your power and your energy away to other entities so they can continue using that energy signature to their benefits, and they can continue to create jobs that you walk into every day and clock in, and you're in that business structure and that model and that alignment and that building. You in a sign that's controlled by something you're trying to take your power and give it away to. And you do that on every aspect subconsciously, because you trained your subconscious mind to do that. So when somebody come here like me and tell you to take your power back, you want to look at me like I'm a demon. You want to look at me like I'm some fucking wizard, which I am, but your aspect of it don't have shit to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all concepts of demons and all that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? These are all attributes of the life that you have picked up and added on to your spaceship. As you being a spirit, your space traveling through this astral realm, developing a spaceship in order to be aware of yourself and sustain yourself through this astral travel. So whatever ideas you can even come up with is you. It's part of you. So you better find yourself and find your position and find your space and location before somebody else take your space and location and treat you like a motherfucking employee. And then you're going to be living every existence frustrated and not understanding why things is going your motherfucking way. Which I'm telling you ahead of fucking time. Take your motherfucking position and your space back. Quit letting other motherfucking entities in your space take everything in your space, redecorate your space to the point that when y'all buy houses, y'all naturally, automatically feel the necessary need to put the living room things in the living room. Put kitchen things in it. Once you make up a whole new structure. Did you ever think of that? See, so y'all have trained your subconscious mind so much to the point that the things that's normal to y'all, to me, is very highly unnormal. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand doing things because everybody else do it. I don't understand doing things because it seemed right. You see what I'm saying? Like, so just you have to get out of that mind state. And you don't have to go to the extreme of changing your house around, but just start putting those concepts on your mind in general. Just start tapping into those frequency vibrations in general, aka just start having these ideas in general. And slowly but surely, it would manifest into certain energies and take different shapes and forms so you can see different realms within this realm. And you will be able to have broader concepts than the people you are around. Just because your mind is not on the same frequency patterns as the people you are around. And it starts with the ideas and your concepts. You see what I'm saying? It starts with the way you think. And if you sit back and think, you could sit back and really realize how much shit you think just normal based upon because you think it, so you don't necessarily think about it. And that be a lot of the root causes of the lostness in this realm of reality. For an example, let's talk about Earth in general, right? And then we got globe Earth. Now, y'all know I created the wave Earth, right? But just in general, right? You got Earth. And then a bunch of concepts derived from Earth. So now you got globe Earth, round Earth, flat Earth, and things of that nature. But y'all fail to realize why ain't nobody questioning Earth first? Before you put any word after it, let's question Earth first. And everybody just subconsciously trained their mind to agree to the terms and conditions that Earth represents the platform that we are walking on. So ain't no telling how far that concept was going. That people just automatically just think that the Earth is the platform we walking on. This could go way back as far as the motherfuckers who wrote the Bibles and all that shit. So who's to say that they wasn't wrong? Because they was trying to understand whatever civilization was there before them. So let's understand Earth first. And then once we understand Earth, we understand that it's not even correlating to a surface. It's correlating to an element. and a premortal element, an element that doesn't even take a shape and form yet. It's just a basic characteristics. And you have like 4 of these. You have fire, water, earth, air. Then they want to quote unquote call ether, but that was just, ether is just another word for, like, it's just a word to call like dark matter or the Higgs boson. You give something that you don't know about, but you see representations of it, and you just give it a word, you just give it a title. But it may not necessarily even be that, and it could be a multitude of things. This is just a word that we can use at the moment. So look at things like that also. So when we talk about earth is an element, and it's a premortal element that deals with the energy signature of structure, routine, growth, nurturing, caring, foundation, practicality. So that energy signature, the characteristics of it is feminine. So here's where you get the feminine aspect, and then it's a premortal. So here's where you get the premortal feminine aspect. So this is where you get earth, the structure, the something that can be practical and take a shape and form after it been nurtured and caring. So this is how we even created anything called a womb in this realm of reality, or a room, or something that can hold something or sustain something. It came from an energy signature that carry out certain characteristics, and that's earth. And then once that energy signature made it with a bunch of other energy signatures like fire, water, air, you get the accumulation and a mixture of what we have right now. And you have a bunch of things on the periodic table, you have a bunch of elements and you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. But what you need to understand is that's where you need to start. Now once you think about it and hear earth, I don't care if you hear something that say this is round earth, globe earth, flat earth, you'll realize that none of that makes sense. Like, those 2 words together don't even make sense. Any argument that's constructed or any analyzation or scientific project put after it will always be in a situation where it will be changed after a few years, because the ground basis of it in general is wrong. So before y'all get lost in all arguing hollow earth or globe earth or all these other earths and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? First understand earth. Then you will be able to sit back and realize that those arguments in general is pointless, because earth don't even have anything to do with the structure of what's being taught, what's being scientifically told, and what's being argued within these discussions. You get what I'm saying? So once you understand earth, you will realize, okay, we need to change the whole concept of what we're even talking about. That's why I said water is not on earth. Earth is on water. Now that you understand that, now we can start to understand why certain land masses take the structure the way they take the structure, why we're going round the way we're going round based upon the current in our ocean flows. You know what I'm saying? Why your hair grow and everything grow in the shape that it's going. Why the vortex vibrated. And then once you start to tap into that, you'll start to understand what kind of frequency vibration we're on in this dimension, what kind of shapes and alignments is being made out of this music in our plane of existence. Therefore, you will be able to start to decipher how does certain fruits, certain animals, certain trees take shape and form. Like on the West Coast, you got palm trees. On the East Coast, you got these kind of trees, certain bushes. And then once you start to get into that, you'll start to understand everything is correlated to alignment. You see what I'm saying? And once you start to build the relationship with as above, so below, everything will become complete. You know what I'm saying? Everything will become complete. And then you will understand that we're all in a wave. Whether you want to call it a conscious wave, a frequency wave, an emotional wave, a magnetic wave, whatever words you're going to put in front of it, that's the illusion. The only thing you know for certain, and the systematic truth of it, is that it's a motherfucking wave. And if you correlate and to see how waves work, everything works in waves. I could light this motherfucking L right here, right? And the smoke is going to float. And you think the smoke is flying. So whatever representation you think something flying is not actually flying, it's floating. And it's having the velocity to float at that frequency vibration, whatever sphere it's at. This is why we got spheres, atmospheres, and things of that nature. Because those are the different levels of frequency vibration waves. So when you see this, what are you looking at? You're looking at waves. You're seeing something float. You're seeing the circumstance of it. It's not going in any kind of direction or anything of that nature. It's floating. You see what I'm saying? It's not going. As light as this smoke is, it's not even pertaining to what we want to quote unquote scientifically call an aura or something like that. The light as this smoke is, the smoke should correlate to the aura. So this smoke is very light and it's not correlating to no aura. So you create your aura based upon what you're doing and what you're paying attention to and what you're acting upon at the moment. But your aura, shape and form, goes into the direction that energy flows based upon whatever you're paying attention to. So whatever you're paying attention to, your aura take that shape and form. So if you look, sometimes a person could be so snakish that they start to appear to look like a snake. So that's where you get aura fields from and things of that nature, and fields of realities, and having an aura or having a presence. Your presence always accumulated with certain information, lights, aka things that you are into on your own time. But when we are talking about lights and spectrums and what we are in as far as a container or whatever y'all want to call this, we're in a wave. See what I'm saying? Look at that. So, whatever frequency you want to apply this wave on, it's still going to act out as a wave. And when we talk about the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional wave that'll play out like blood or water in the 3rd dimension, right? Here's where you get music waves. So, this is where you get the recordings and podcasts and musicians and audio frequency waves that you see. Anybody who make music know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Y'all know how to play with energies. You can see the vibes. Before you even push play back, you can see where you're too loud at. You can see where you're too. You see what I'm saying? So, what is that? A wave and a snapshot of it, a recording of it, so you can play it back and hear that frequency vibration play out that you have recorded. This is a science our spirit is teaching our physical bodies. You see, this is real shit. This should be in music class. This should be in science class. A child wouldn't even have to touch a piano and would know how to play the piano from up to top to bottom before even seeing a piano. I did that in real life. See what I'm saying? So, you can't tell me that's wrong. So, like I said, we are in the frequency vibration that's very strong in the 3rd dimension because it's vibrating very low. So the currents is very heavy. So it may take you a lot longer to get out of a current. And a certain current is just a realm of reality, a womb, a world, a box. And it may not align with other realm of realities. So you may be lost in one bubble from time to time and not see your true potential of where you can go. But for the most part, the moment it turns into fear, you need to know that you're in a circumstance or situation where you are indoctrinated in some way, shape, or form, and you need to work on that. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch. Don't become a spiritual junkie. Air. Hee. Because your spirit could do a lot of things to experience new experiences. And it doesn't need fear to do that. But the moment you are in fear, that's your spirit letting your body know this is a drug we need to just die to experience something new. Know that. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. I love y'all.